edition of the Simraceway Sunday Race-Off, and what a fantastic show we're going to have for you today. 7 laps in the first ever for the Sunday Race-Off. We're here at Longstone Pass, or Longstone Pass I should say, right in the north of England, and I'll be here to call all the action for you as these Ariel Atoms get ready to bring us 7 laps of exciting action. Darak on pole, can he get off to a good start? It's a slow start for him on the inside line. He's held up as well, and now PH Factor is able to take the line to turn 1. Master Rocco was making contact there. Luckily the rest of the field were able to avoid it, and they don't bunch up going that uphill section, although there is a bit of a spin behind 2-3 cars involved. Bellina's Jim Hall being the worst off for sure, leads off 76 as well. A dreadful start there at the bottom of the hill as they start snaking their way up. This track tipped to be used for some of the TT or WRC stages in future years, but for now it's been showcased by the Ariel Atom, a perfect car for the circuit. It's almost very much a street circuit, one which really does demand the most out of the driver, and that's what Master Rocco is doing right now as he hits the first straightaway off the circuit, the longest one on the 9-turn track, I believe. And now look at the field pile down over the jumps, and you can already see the aggression. Some of them take different lines. Jim Wally looks to really try and take that lead away, but to no avail yet as they go over the bridge. Back round they come through the right-hander. And now you can see Jim Wally really start to put the pressure on our race leader. He's only 0.3 seconds away. He's really starting to reel him in now. PH Factor looking to try and get second back as well, but Wally at the inside. And he's been cut short. PH Factor now maybe looking to try and take an advantage of that. And Jim Wally struggling back there now. Hold on that position, he just got a bit out of shape, and that did cost him valuable time. The top 5 all still within 1.4 seconds at this stage. And Wally with a big move up the inside. In turn, that has earned him the race lead for a temporary spell of time. Not exactly sure if maybe Master Rocco is going to be able to take that one from him though. He's already sat behind PH Factor at the moment. Dimitri also getting very close to him now. We're not even towards the end of lap number 1 yet. It's a very long circuit, this one. Yeah, on the Simraceway website, it does say this track is 9 corners. I do believe that is an error. Slightly more than 9. As we take a look at what Darek's doing, the man who was on pole, he is back up to P4, but still it's not been the greatest start in the world for him, is it? He really has struggled today. And as they loop their way through once again through this distinctively positioned corner, they go towards the first real challenger downhill ebb, and you can really see the elevation change start as it rises you back onto that straight again. And it really is like a rally event or like some sort of enduro or TT. It really is a perfect blend of track that will push the driver's mentality to the max, and you almost get goosebumps watching these cars fly over the jumps at about 140 miles an hour over the little bridge. And with that car going weightless for a short spell of time, you need to make sure that it is officially corrected. You need to make sure that it's not going to jump out at you or that back end's going to step out. And right now, Jim Wally's done a perfect job of that so far. You can see the speed camera there. This all using real British road, of course. And setting the beautiful countryside. And you can just see the rest of the field in the background there. PH Factor is going to be the nearest challenger. He's only a few tenths away. Look how close you get to the edge of the cliff there. And Jim Wally comes towards the end of lap number 2. He's going to try and make sure to get that car positioned on the inside nice and early for the right-hander. He does so very well, but he's got to flick it back left. Very tricky bit of cornering here. It does, again, encourage you to take slightly more speed than you should. And now look at PH Factor trying to go round the outside, realising he would have the inside line for the next corner, but he just couldn't quite get the move off. And that could have been a brilliant bit of driving from PH Factor, but it wasn't to be. And as the car's now on lap number 3 out of 7, we are approaching half race distance almost. Jim Wally still leads, Master Rocco second, Factor in third, Darek still fourth, despite starting on pole position. And again, very much like last week, the pole sitter isn't always going to be the driver that takes a win here. We've seen some bizarre events happen in Sim Raceway. We've seen some fantastic ones as well. And you can never quite tell what's going to happen, but as Master Rocco leads PH Factor around, that was almost a bit of a collision on the bridge. We're going to quickly take a check. Oh no, Lito 76 has lost that left rear wheel. Now, what has happened there? We believe it's on the left. Yes, it is. The lights are on. But what has happened there? Now, he must have collided with the wall at some stage, but that car is limping back to the pit lane. They can see it now. He pulls in next to what looks like the residential pub. And he's going to pull that. He can't even... Oh, I think he's just got back to his pit box in time. He's missed it slightly, but even so, for Litos, that's not been the most ideal day in the world, is it? But still, Master Rocco chasing at the front of the field as we approach this halfway stage. They start lap number 4. And now we really do get a sense of the sheer determination of these drivers. This circuit is so difficult to pass on, as it is meant for these single stage, almost hot lap type events where it's just one track versus the car, just a bit of tarmac versus the driver, and then the driver's instincts versus Mother Nature, as well as they battle all sorts of conditions out there. But for now, you've got to try and pass another car. You have to try and make room. And these corners are all so tricky, they're so tight, begging you to cling onto that apex for as long as possible. And it makes it so difficult to put a move on the inside, because you will be thrown off course for the next corner. And if the move does not persist or it does not succeed, then you will lose so much time having to correct yourself and get back over to the right side of the track. There's Jim while he jumps, and look how close Master Rocco got there. Almost had a look, didn't he? Darek's now P3. I've been overtaken PH Factor. But Jim Wally will lead a lap then. Still, of course, to be followed by Master Rocco, who's not still quite stopped chasing him yet. Oh, and a big slide there for Master Rocco. That could have been absolutely killer. In fact, I think he was very lucky indeed not to do any damage to that car. We've seen already what the track can do. You've seen Litos. As they go across the line again, they start lap number 5 then. 3 to go. Litos retires from the race. Having, as we've said, not exactly been the most ideal afternoon for him, has it? But as the cars make their way round once again, they are approaching some traffic now. Quickly run you through the order. We've got a nice three-way battle there over P4. That is Darek in 3rd, then PH Factor and Dimitri as well. And Darek's gone ridiculously wide through there. And in fact, he's just lost 2 positions. He's down to 5th. And therefore, just showing how demanding this circuit can be and how punishing it can be. The slightest error will see you careering into a tyre wall. As they go over the jumps again, their side. Whoa! And did you see the air then? The direct corner, Dimitri flies up the inside, uses the bridge as sort of a comfort barrier to get that car in the right direction, and that's almost like he was overtaking a little bunker car arena there. But I've never seen the height like Darek just got then. 10 out of 10, dancing on ice. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is now time for figure skating almost. That was beautiful as PH Factor goes wide and therefore loses more positions. Vijay now there as well, battling with them. He's really not that far away now. Oh, Vijay spun! And again on that cliff face, and look at the view if you look on board there. Over the English countryside, but they'll be far from admiring that one right now. He wants to get that car going back in the right direction. And I don't really think that his race has taken a kind toll on him. Especially at this stage where the leader is actually approaching lap number 7. He's on the penultimate lap now. He's just set a time of a 1:49. A 1:49.5 from Dimitri. So time's still pretty even throughout the field. And look at Dimitri as well. He's trying to pull away from Darek and PH Factor as soon as possible. Can't really blame him either. Jim Wally is going down over those jumps again. Let's just watch, yeah, some of these cars get. Bit of a wobble from Master Rocco, and he has given chase very well this afternoon. There goes Dimitri, and now you wait for Darek and company. Again, Darek, look at the PH Factor got. Certainly a worthy challenger of the award. Bit of a bump there for Racken. Oh my goodness me, there's contact on the bridge. And as they go over there, Darek's the man in trouble. Vajay goes short. I don't know how he did that. That was racing instinct of a legend. Darek's car over the tightest part of the circuit on that bridge, sideways at a lateral position. Somehow allowing Vajay just enough room to squeeze through. And that could have been so much more violent and a much more abrupt end to the race. But we need to keep an eye on what our race leader is doing, because he's just going to come through now and starts the 7th lap out of 7. He's followed only by a second away there from Master Rocco, so the two drivers really don't have that much between them at all. And no, Master Rocco's off! And he took a bit of a bang there. That was nothing intentional. I think that was just being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe a slight lapse of concentration. But either way, that has not ended well for him, and surely handed Jim Wally a victory, providing he doesn't make an error. The gap is still just over 2 seconds now. We'll quickly get an update next time they go through the sector. But it looks to me like, in all honesty, that's not going to be much of an issue now for Jim Wally. And there's going to be some fantastic screenshotting capabilities here to see these cars mid-air. And what an entrance race to the night it's been as well. Don't forget, we've got the brand new special event of week 1 of the Evo series coming very soon. A brand new way to show support in the Sunday race-offs. And it is a proper, I can exclusively say, World Championship. The Mitsubishi Evos are in a World Championship, but for now, we need to take a look at Jim Wally. I'll bring you some more information on where the Evos are going to start this championship from and how it's all going to pan out a little bit later on. But for now, we have to take a look at our race leader, who's put on a fine display of how to battle the English countryside today. So he just comes through the penultimate corner now, and Jim Wally is once again going to be crowned a winner in the Simraceway Sunday Race-Off. Down the hill he comes, through the final corner, and over the line. A big win there for Jim Wally. Master Rocco a worthy second. Dimitri crosses in third. Big result there for Dimitri. As for PH Factor in fourth. Agnelis P5, very good result there indeed, when he'll cross the line presumably. Vajay's lost a wheel. Now that is interesting. That's the second wheel we've seen lost, front right. And that car's looking more like a DIY job of a Connects modelling kit than a real car, it seems. But Vajay surely going to hold on to P6. Yes, he does. Gets there in time. Darek got close, but not close enough. And our pole setter crosses the line in a lonely 7th place. Belinas will cross in 8th place with Jim Hall and Litos 76, who did not finish, leaving those guys to it then. So unfortunately, that does bring us to the end of the first race tonight here in the Sunday Race-Off. But don't forget, as I say, we've got the brand new series coming up for you soon. The Mitsubishi Evo X World Championship. The first round of that coming a bit later on. And don't forget your higher skill quad races as well. But we'll be back very shortly with the 500 to 900 A race. So see you then. Hello everybody and welcome back to another race here in the Simraceway Sunday Race-Off week number 52. We're here today at Longstone Pass, as said earlier, right in the heart of the UK countryside, and what an event it's going to be. So another 14 drivers looking to try their luck around the circuit, and currently it's in Garn just leading the way in qualifying, 4 minutes and 50 seconds until we call it a day here and we move to that race session. But for now, Garn is looking in a very comfortable position indeed, and he's got himself about 0.3 of a second back to Hellwood in P2. Crass Action sits in third, very handily there, looking good. Clark 10 P4, Dijma in P5, rounding out there, and he just gets knocked out by Clark 10, who breaks the mold and gets himself in there without trouble at all. So really impressive lap there by Clark 10, a 1:47.045. But you look at the actual time differences separating the majority of the field at the moment, and it is clear to see just how quick our current pole sitter is, and he's just been beaten. As I've said, that it's now Firefall that has taken, well, the Firefall, isn't he? He's already up to P1 now, 1:44.2, 6/10 quicker than our previous pole sitter, which is pretty darn fast in itself. But when you look at the cars behind, third place at 1:45.0, so 8/10 quicker there than Hellwood. Crass Action's fourth at 1:46.5, so that's almost 1.5 seconds quicker. You've got just behind him, of course, Clark 10, and it's a ridiculous amount of time. You've got almost 3 seconds between first place and fifth, so the guys at the front really are pushing hard, and they really are having a go at this circuit. And some, types of drivers will love this circuit, and others will hate it with a passion. And it's just about finding your groove and finding what sort of rhythm suits you. You may be a more race circuit kind of driver. You may be one that prefers street circuits, but this sort of circuit really does bring out that raw driving instinct, and not many tracks in the world do that, and this is one of the very few. So it's fantastic to see the Atoms really fly around here. So 2 minutes 51 seconds left now. Still Firefall heading the way. Hasn't had much competition in recent few seconds or so. It's all been fairly steady out there, but I'm sure as we take a look at drivers moving through the field now, Dijma down in P7, only 0.4 of a second quicker there than Koljiko in P8. You got Guzel in P9, Reckon making his return in 10th, Devil Bevan 11th, Giangi 13th, and WTTN in 14th. But in Garge out on the circuit at the moment, no traffic around. It's going to be interesting to see if he can maybe get himself back up within a shot here. This is only one way to find out, and there's a bit of debris there just as he went past it. That was Hellwood just missing that, I think. He's only 0.5 away now, Hellwood. See, a few of the cones have been knocked over in the background there, where drivers have maybe just been a bit too aggressive when it comes to this circuit. And again, a feat which is very easy to accomplish around here. And to speak, cameras flash, Dijma looking good in P7. This is the best I've seen him. He's only got a few more corners to go before he comes towards the end of the lap. Nice and easy over the jump as you get towards the edge of the cliff. Stay away from that inside edge. Then attack it upon the exit. He's not that far away. Oh, and he's lost it. I don't know how he saved that one. He must have been a millimetre away from a blade of grass which could have spun him round completely. Great car control indeed, and that is something that is needed to conquer this circuit. And over the line he goes. You have to slow up a little bit. He's still P8, no improvement there. I think that last section definitely caught him out. Firefall now just a 10th quicker. Inganj needs to get clear of that traffic. Koljiko's still in the way, really. He needs to get himself clear of the path. But let's wait and see what he can do. It's still not over yet. He's still got plenty of time to get himself a decent lap. Oh, and out of nowhere, Firefall ups the game. 0.7 of a second faster. So just when it was in a 10th, It is now 7/10 of a second, so a huge gap. And Nganja's almost got to go a full second faster just to get faster than him. So let's wait and see. I think this may not be as soon as he expected. And you can really sense the pressure now, just taking a look on board with Nganj. As that Atom engine roars into life, he's almost there, he's only got a few more corners to go. The question is, will this be quicker or no? No, it's not, he's nowhere near, he didn't even match his own time there, and that is the end of Nganj's session. He will not get another shot at trying to take that pole position. So who else will then? Helwood's in, Andy Bob's in. Koljeko in P5. Not a bad effort either, to be fair. Goes through the line now, and that one's not going to count. He's not too far away from the start-finish line. Devil Web in 6th, Crash 7th, Google 8th. WTTNN still on a lap if he can get there before that finale. Before the initial extra marker at the end of the session ticks to 0. It's going to be fairly quick. He's only got a couple of corners left. And across the line, can he improve? No, he can't. Oh, yes, he can. He goes third. A bit of a delay. Big lap there by WTTNN. It will start from the inside line. We'll be back very shortly with the race where Firefall starts on pole position. Hello everybody, welcome back live to the Simraceway Sunday Race-Off. An incredible display of pace there by Firefall in the qualifying session. Can he match it when it comes to the race though, when the stakes are high and the circuit is as demanding as ever? Let's find out. As the lights go green, a big start there for Firefall. He immediately cuts off Enganji, knows that inside line is dangerous. Holds it well though. It's actually a disadvantage to start on pole here, and you look back through the field and there is a bit of contact going up the hill. That's happened twice now. No major casualties, however. And now Reckon and Clark, bit of a battle there down in 10th. In all honesty, the main crux of the action is going on a bit further forward as Koljeko and Andy Bob do battle. And that is Enganji going wide in P2, and he almost had a bit of a collision there. He's got to be very careful now. He's got WTTNN looking to punish him for any little mistake. There's another one. He's in trouble. And that is for sure. That goes without saying, I think. Oh, and look at the air he gets on that as well. That car does not look stable at all. He's missing the front wing. Enganji is definitely missing that front wing. I was just closely examining it. It's come completely off. There must have been a pretty hefty collision with the barrier. And now the cars get ready to go over the bridge. Enganji goes wide again, and the thing is as well, with a circuit like this, the lack of downforce can be killer, and look at the consequences! That's a messy situation, and that could have ended a lot worse. We shall have to wait and see. You never know exactly what's going to happen. Enganji could come back from this, but it's a long way back to the pit lane. As Andy Bob and Dijma still battle on. And he was able to maintain his cool through there. But still Firefall leads by quite a significant advantage. That dominant pace he's shown in qualifying is, well, carried over here, that's for sure. So almost 5 seconds already, and it's only just been a lap, so he really is streets ahead of everyone else right now. He's flying through the track and really just making it look easy. Over the hill goes Firefall, and just taking a look at his driving style now as well. I've never seen someone so smooth on a circuit like this. He's just making it look like child's play. It's like this car is attached to the circuit like a Scale Electrics car. Absolutely incredible. He's just showing no sign of remorse, no sign of error. If you take a look at the battle for second, then now you're going to see a lot of action. That is between Hellwood and WTTN. They're going towards the end now of their second lap, about 40 seconds or so. And I like it could have been a late move there for Hellwood, but he opted out of it. A very smart decision as well. Can't really blame him there. And as they now clamber back through the field again, WTTN is doing his best to hold off Hellwood there. Andy Bob's catching these guys as well, which is not going to help Hellwood's morale whatsoever. Koljeko still doing a good job, and in all honesty, this man in his debut here in the race-off, I believe, who is racing on a keyboard. I may be wrong, but as far as I can tell, that is keyboard racing. So to be inside the top 5 on a circuit like this with this car as dynamic as this is a monumental achievement. So props to where props is due. Koljeko is doing a great job right now. And Reckon trying to overtake Goozle there, not to be confused with the major search engine. And look at Dijma as well, flashing his lights. He's not happy about something. And look at the battle just further on as well then. WTTN, we said, was doing well, but talking of progress, Andy Bob, Hellwood, and the man in second, WTTN. We did say to Howard as well that this would not help him, that if things started to happen, and if Howard started to get held up, by WTTN, then it is going to help Andy Bob catch him, and indeed it did. So a quick run through the order then on lap 3 out of 10. Firefall leads in a very demanding position as he's about to start lap number 4. The yellow flag out, I'm assuming that will be for the man in the pit lane who currently is Crash Action. Oh, and he's lost both wheels! Is he lost both front wheels? I believe he has. Both front wheels, that is a record. And I'm not sure how that car's moving. I'm really stunned. It almost looks like a little starship now. Battlestar Galactica Season 4 is about to get underway, and Crash Action is Captain Kirk. I'm not sure if he's trying to destroy the car on purpose or no, but if you take a look back towards the field then, Firefall, who started his 4th lap, still leads this race. Second place WTTN, and look at the cars just chasing him down. Howard looking for a move there, that didn't pay off at all. Andy Bob's just behind in P4. And 5th place is Kozieco 6, Gayagni 76, I beg your pardon. We got Dijkma in P7, Guzel in 8th, Reckon 9th, Inganj in 10th, 11th Devil Bev in 12th, Clark 10, and Kozieco all the way down in P14 now. But I think these drivers just need to be a bit more cautious. We've still got about 6.5 laps more of racing here around Longstone Pass, and you can already see the mental toll it's having on them. A couple drivers starting to make errors now, getting closer to that cliff face through the left-hander, or maybe a bit closer to that wall of the bridge. And you just love to see a slow motion highlights package of something like this, wouldn't you? Just to see how close these drivers can get to the wall, they can get to the edge of the cliffs. It really is a spectacular circuit. And you can see why the drivers both love it and hate it so much. It's such a technical circuit. And Firefall will extend his lead to 8.5 seconds, really making the most of it out there. So, taking a look then, a bit further down the field, at one battle which really has caught my eye over these past 30 seconds or so. And it does really have to go to a man who we haven't spoken a lot about today. And that is going to be a certain man called Guzel. He's currently P8. And just as I said that, he's nailed it into the wall. So, again, the commentator's curse still exists, but he's only 6 seconds behind Dijkma. And again, Dijkma is one of those drivers that has proved himself here in a Sunday Race-Off many times. Guzel, on what I believe to be his Sunday Race-Off debut, is really making a name for himself now. He's only P8, I know. And there goes Kozieco. That moves him up into P7. So thank you very much, he says. He's now only got 5 seconds as well, so he's almost taken out a second of Dijkma that time round. So he really is starting to up the ante. And I wonder if Dijkma's going to be able to keep up with him or no. And Clark 10 is out of the race. That becomes our first retirement of the afternoon, unfortunately. In fact, it becomes our first retirement overall in a Sunday Race-Off, as Inganj has a bit of a spin as well from P11. Norway, he said he would be. He was one of those drivers earlier who really showed a big presence in qualifying, but could never match it during the race. And Firefall comes onto the straight again now. He's on lap number 6 of 10. Starting to pick up the pace a bit now, especially almost at a 10-second lead already. Sebastian Vettel, eat your heart out. Firefall has not looked back since he took that pole position. So Andy Bob there, P3. P4 still Dijksma now. Being attacked by Giagni though. Giagni inside the top 5. And following a few incidents, it seems to me like these drivers have really shuffled around a bit now. We got Kuzjeko pulling into the pit lane from P14, having lost the front wing to his car. He's obviously not happy with the way it's handling out there. They pull into the middle pit lane. So WTTN there's just crossed the line. And we'll start at number 7 now. 1:45.7 is not a bad time at all, but he's now 10 seconds behind a certain Firefall, 4 seconds in front of Andy Bob, so he's not even safe in P2 at the moment. As the field really starts to quieten down now and just focus on getting within a rhythm until the end of this race. Battles do start to become less and less relevant. The only battle we're seeing is the driver versus the asphalt, versus Mother Nature and that cliffside as well. And it really is a spectacular one to watch at that. Dijksma still P4 at the moment, holding on very nicely at the moment. But whether he can stay there for much longer is going to be another issue entirely. As the years start to wonder, 3.5 more laps to go until we crown what could be Firefall as our winner. Was a bit of a moment for Dijksma through there actually as he goes over the bridge. I haven't seen him wobble like that in a long time. So a quick rundown of the order then as Firefall starts. It's 8th lap out of 10. Firefall still leads. WTTN second. Andy in third. Dijksma now P4. Giagni 5th. Goozle just outside in 6th. Reckon 7th. Howard in 8th place. 9th in Ganj. And 10th is Kuzjeko. 11th and out of the race as well is Clark 10 and Devil Bevins. So still been a very intriguing race despite our 2 retirements. Firefall again now really starting to even attack. He's still putting personal best in. Despite the fact he's on lap 8 out of 10, he's got over 10 seconds back. He will not give up. He wants to win by the biggest margin possible. And towards the head once again. Downhill we go, and WTTN is 12 seconds away now. And he's only 3 seconds in front of Andy Bob, who's definitely keeping him in close check. Making sure he doesn't do anything silly, or waiting to see if he does anything silly so he can capitalise. I did think he had a bit of a lag issue there actually, a bit of a netcode problem it seems. As Giagni now comes up to Dijksma with just 2.5 or so laps left. He really does have to start thinking about a move before it is way too late and off the agenda. And don't forget, we've still got the brand new Evo X World Championship Series coming up for you next. The very first round of that one from the Silverstone circuit. So finally, Simraceway gets its claws on a fully sanctioned championship. So you will not want to miss that one. That's coming up just after the end of this race, which is surely, unless there's any plot twist, going to be dominated by a certain Firefall. And another battle that's still forming is going to be Daishmer and Gyangi. Those guys have been getting quite frisky over recent laps with only 2 to go. Those guys who are battling over that final spot, P4. Got to be quite careful, I think, more than anything now. The last thing you want to do is throw something away you've worked so hard for over these past 15-20 minutes. And now we take a look as to what our race leader's doing, and the answer to that is he's on his final lap. He's making his way round. Almost job done for Firefall. As we said, he's not really put a foot wrong all afternoon. I say not really, I mean he hasn't. He's been glued to that racetrack and he's not made a single tiny error. So I think there's going to be only one deserving winner, and he's going to be our first winner in quite a while to also receive the Driver of the Day award. It's quite difficult to come by. It only takes a big impressive performance, but Firefall has just been so dominant. He's did it in qualifying by a big margin, and now he's going to win a 10-lap race by over 13 seconds. So that works out by over a second quicker per lap. About 1.25, I'd say. As Firefall launched his car over the bridge for the last time today, he's only got himself about 40 or more seconds until he can call himself a winner of a Sunday race-off again. 14.8 seconds a gap. And out of the race there goes Howard then, right at the end. Unfortunately for him, he could not get it back in. He did actually had to sell it on eBay. I think he left it just a little bit too late, unfortunately. And over the line goes Firefall. What a win! And smashes the wheel in celebration. He'll be so happy with that one. Firefall, your race winner for week number 52. Second place there will be WTTN M1. Third place, I'm assuming, will be Andy Bob. He'll follow him very shortly. Now you can see then P5 for Giagni. He'll go across Gutel. P6. 7th will be Nganj. 8th for Reckon. 9th Howard. 10th Kuzjeko. 9th Devil Bevin. As well as 12th Devil Bevin. And then Kuzjepo still P14 despite all his hard work. And Dom, of course, for the incredible performance what Kuzjeko's done. He's tried so difficult. In all honesty, he does deserve what I think a little bit of a praise, because he won so well earlier on. He was inside the top 5, but he just couldn't get it done in the end. It was a great run. He almost had it, but a rookie error came into play, and this circuit just proved too much of a challenge for him. We'll see how he copes next week, but we've got a very exciting race for you next, and it will be the first round of the Evo X World Championship. We'll see you soon. Welcome back to a new evolution, if you pardon a pun, in Simraceway Sunday Race-Off history. It is the first round of the Mitsubishi X World Championship. The Mitsubishi Evo will be back in action here today, the 10th evolution of the Mitsubishi Evo, and they really can't wait to get this series underway. For months and months, we've seen the pinnacle of touring car racing right here in the Sunday Race-Off, and now finally it has its own dedicated championship. So it really is going to be an incredible event. We'll have to wait and see how these guys show up though. How can they perform under the spotlights? You know, it's all very well doing it in a Sunday Race-Off, but when the stakes are at the fullest, how is it going to compare when you have to compete around the Silverstone circuit, the national layout of course? using the southern version. The short one, we go straight on to the back of the hammer straight. It will be an 18-lap race for heat race number 1, 18 laps race for heat number 2, and the race that gets broadcast right here today will be also 18 laps. So the total being is that you have the top 8 drivers from the race of the weekend. Then you have certain drivers from heat race number 1, so there'll be the top 3 from number 1 and the top 3 from heat race number 2. So we're left with a total of approximately 14 to 15 drivers who will all be in action. I can now confirm to you those who will be competing, and the man who is on pole position as well, it was Shadow Bounty, who took qualifying by storm with a 116.876. The 117.0 for Lolin Fox in second. Dimitris Giannopoulos, forever the underdog, in P3, looking strong once again. Ragster starts in P4, 5th place there. It will be for Wild 7, 6th for King Dio, 7th Lazarus. Luke Sky will be in 8th place, 9th PA, 10th Tomcat 458, Chris 007 in 11th, and Crass will be P12. So I'll quickly run through the point standings as they will be produced at the end of the race. First place will take 20 points, second place 18, third place 16, fourth place 14, fifth 12, and so on and so forth, all the way down to 14th place, who will take 2 points. So as soon as 6th place gets 10, then it goes 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So really it's going to be an interesting session then to see 18 laps of the circuit. It's all at stake. Sunday Race-Off, yes, you can meet for cash prizes. Yes, Evo has never been obviously one of the big events. It's always been the support race, but now it comes into its own limelight where the best of the best battle out in a championship. This now is a chance to win some silverware, a chance to make history and be a champion in the first ever Sim Raceway official championship. So the question is, who's going to be the man on top come the end of the race in just a few moments' time? We'll be back very shortly to find out the answer. Okay, so welcome back to the first ever edition of the Mitsubishi Evo X Series. The World Championship starts here. The road to glory starts here. The question is, who will be the man sat at the top of that podium come the end of the race? Will it be Shadow Bounty to pole position? Will it be Lolin Fox in second? Or will it be a complete underdog? Let's find out as we wait those red lights to turn green. Big start from Shadow Bounty, pretty much even as Lolin Fox, but Lolin Fox will have the inside line. Bounty trying to defend it round the outside. I don't think he's got enough speed, unfortunately, though. Lolin Fox will be trying to push for everything he's got. And now the rest of the field follow suit. Very clean through the opening section so far. And now Lolin Fox trying to go down the middle, late lunge. Not through there, unfortunately. Oh, he got a spin in the background, and Carnage ensues already. So both Crass, Lazarus and Ragster, all three cars involved. As the field made their way onto the straight for the first time today. Slipstreams galore right now. Let's take a look at what Shadow Bounty's rear view is going to look like, because surely it's going to look very inviting for Lolin Fox to try and make a pass down the outside. Let's maybe have a look. He's going to try it up the inside. No, quite. He definitely gave him a bit of a scare, though, as they come towards the end of the first lap. They've got to be so careful right now, then. He's trying to put a bit of pressure on, I think. Oh, my goodness me! Dimitris Giannopoulos skips over the curbs and somehow only loses one position down to 4th. Now, obviously, he loses a bit more momentum as he's joined the straight at a bad time. The rest of the field doing about 10 miles an hour or more, and he's down to P6. That will get him 10 points at this stage. He needs to maybe be in a better position than this, down to 7th. Retakes that position from Christo as he runs out of road. So, unfortunately for Dimitri Giannopoulos, what looked like a strong start ended up in a not so strong ending. So we'll see how the rest of the field can go, but for now, in all honesty, it's not looking too great. Dimitri, though, trying to catch up. Take a look at what's going on at the front of the field as Lolin Fox and Shadow Bounty do battle once again. But not through there on the run-up now in towards Stowe and through Club Corner. Lolin Fox needs to try and find something. He needs to try and find it quick. Because we've seen Shadow Bounty defend here before. He really is a relentless defensive driver. He will not give up any room. Very rarely makes a mistake. And I really hope I don't put a commentator's curse on that. But honestly, these drivers are some of the most talented that Sim Raceway has to offer. And now having their own championship, it's a chance for them to prove themselves to the world on the big stage. Who's going to be the first ever winner of the championship? Now there is a good question to ponder. Lap 3, Shadow Bounty still with the lead at this stage. It's not a huge convincing lead though, as Wild 7 still settled just behind the two of them in P3. So quick run through the order at the start of lap number 3. Shadow Bounty, Lolin Fox in P2, Wild 7 3rd, Dio starts in P4, Chris 007 5th, Luke Sky down to 6th there behind Crass, Lazarus in 8th, Mr. PA 9th, Tomcat in 10th, Rags to 11th, Dimitris Giannopoulos in the pit lane in 12th. Is that a retirement? I think it may be. He's lost the rear right wheel, in fact. Very rare incident indeed. So Dimitri's obviously struggled today. And I think that's going to be race over for him. So disappointment for the man who qualified in P3. And his road to glory has not really started very glorious. He's going to have to work very hard over the next few rounds to try and make this better, to try and get himself back in the running here. But he's trying to roll out. He's not giving up just yet. And there's carnage at the back of the field as well. That's Tomcat involved with PA. And I think it may be Lazarus as well. The three drivers heading through the final corner now. All three of them were off-road just a moment ago. And now through turn number 1 they'll go. PA, then Tom, then Ragster. Though in all honesty, Ragster's looking much more aggressive now. Up the inside he goes. And that is going to be a textbook manoeuvre there from Ragster if he doesn't mess it up. He went a bit too deep and now they're almost 3 wide. He's going to have to wrap it round the outside. Very difficult, but he's got it done since a nice complexion of this southern edition of the circuit. The variation, I should say. Lazarus sneakily snuck his car through as well. But now fancies a bit of Ragster. He wants 2 cars, 2 corners. Meanwhile, it wasn't actually him who opened up, but he did get it done though. So Lazarus up to P9. Very good driving there. Optimistic, the ultimate opportunist, in fact, it seems. As Chris does battle with King Dio there for P4. So onto the main straight they come again, and now Chris looking like he's going to be in a much stronger position to attack going into that first corner than where he was a few moments ago. Couldn't quite get it done that time, but he's definitely making progress. And he's trying to go out the inside there. Chris almost tapped that rear end, and that could have been catastrophic if he did. But nice spatial awareness there by King Dio to make sure that nothing came of the error. And so work their way down that straight one more time. Almost approaching the halfway mark now. A few more laps to go, about a quarter of the way through here. As Chris tries to move one up the inside as he finally got it. Oh, bit of a nudge. And that was classic touring car racing there. He's got the move done, but you've got to imagine King Dio can't be too happy with the outcome. Especially considering there was minor contact between the two drivers, which may have influenced the manoeuvres. Dio goes back through the inside again. Nicely wrapped as Chris leaves the circuit. He has to therefore surrender the position. He's done so. He's trying to still attack on the inside and maybe force Dio wide. Not today. Dio's going to try and hold on with everything he's got and stop Chris from ruining the day for him. Through turn number one once again. And now Dio is retained that position. Chris is going to have to work a lot harder, it seems, if he wants to make an impact here. Shadow Bounty talking of making an impact. Now has a 1.1 second lead over Lolin Fox. So his race has gone astoundingly well so far. So Shadow Bounty leads and Lolin Fox, and I know we got to spin it. That was Dio. It was King Dio that's made the error. That was coming out of Stowe. And now he's made contact with Crass, and I'm wondering if that's going to be a penalty. I'm not sure it was intentional, but Crass swerves back onto the circuit, right in the path of everyone, but narrowly avoids contact. Down to P11, Dimitri is out of the race, our lone retirement. Unfortunately for the man, as we say, qualified in third, the keyboard racer. Arguably one of the fastest keyboard races I've ever seen. They cross the line again, lap 7 of 18 now as Tomcat crosses. And Lolin Fox still now trying to stay with Shadow Bounty. If he loses him, he'll have a lone race till the end. He's on lap 7, 2.9 in front of Wild 7, 1.2 behind Shadow Bounty. Ideally, if he could get himself maybe 5 seconds between each, he'd have a very happy end to the race. He could just cruise home, not need to worry about track positioning or anything of the such. Just get himself in a nice position and cruise himself to the end, which ideally is something that everyone wants to do. On to the final corner comes Lolin Fox. Let's compare lap times then. So 1:16.7 to a 1:16.9, so 2 tenths quicker was Shadow Bounty that time round. 1:17.8 there from Wild 7. That just gives you testament to how quick the two leaders are. 1:18.6 from Chris, 1:18.2 from Luke. So Luke Sky, up into the top 5. Looking like he could very well be a factor in his championship today. And why not? He's had a good run so far. Everyone knows what he is capable of, and possibly let's find out if he's got top 5 material. We say this championship scenario will make or break drivers. It's something that Sim Raceway users have craved for so long. And now let's just see what the rest of the world has to offer here. As Ragstar now gets in the mix. In P9, he's catching that long line of cars who are all currently chasing. And he has Mr. PA leading it, so the PA parade at the moment as he drifts around there. Is it going to come to a halt though, as we've got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 cars trying to chase down PA. So the PA parade looking fairly average at the moment. And just listening there to PA's car, he's swirling around in P6 trying to catch those two grey cars in front, but I'm not going to lie, in all honesty, I don't think he's got enough pace because Luke Sky's just got his field at the moment. You can see what Luke's trying to do by attacking Chris, but again, this battle has been going on for so long now. We're about halfway into the race and the slipstreaming in these cars is so difficult. But that is a long train of cars now. The PA parade has sort of turned into the Chris 007 cavalry as the midfield make their way down into the final corner for what will be the 9th time today. And Luke Sky is going to go through the inside the final corner, a risky move, and that was inevitable. A silly manoeuvre, and as look at that, Chris 007 rejoins the circuit, almost making a bit of contact with Mr. PA, however the contact was averted. You may have to wonder about maybe what the plan's going to be here. Because now as that trio of cars, which is now the Chris Cavalry, kind of falls away. Luke Sky's been able to really hammer out the 10th already. He's got himself about a half a second lead as they made their way onto the straight for lap number 10. And look at the moves going on there. They're 3 wide. Dio up the inside. Oh, and there's contact, and Dio goes pirouetting off. And Chris goes wide as well. Dio spins it back, and Lazarus and plows into the barrier. Out of nowhere, Lazarus takes a knock. He's down to P9, and this race has been turned on its head out of nowhere. There will be 8 laps to go, and a considerable amount of work to do for him now. And Lazarus out of the race then, he has retired, so unfortunately race over there for Lazarus. He's done so well, but unfortunately his race has been cut short. And he's been left watching the rest of it from the paddock, so not a good start to the championship for Lazarus or for Dimitris Giannopoulos. Both of those guys we thought would be maybe factors in this race inside the top 5 at least. This has allowed some of the underdogs to really shine through now. So a quick update on what the lead is doing. The gap 1.5 seconds, so still nowhere near where it could or should be. But his bounty again rips another few tenths out of him. The lead which has been back and forth this entire time. And now you've really got to start thinking about the potential as Mr. PA overtakes Luke Sky through turn 1. Luke Sky making the move stick for P4, but PA wants it back. However, I don't think Luke Sky is really going to hold that much of a grudge, is he? He just wants to try and get that car across the line as soon as possible. And through the straight they'll come, and you've got to take a look now at maybe what Ragster's going to do, attacking Chris 007, that Chris Cavalry, which has been considerably reduced. More of just a couple of cars now. But Ragster's still attacking. Up to P7 as it is. He was P9 last. We had a big check on him. And now into turn number 1 again, and you see, take a look at what Shadow Bounty's doing. Up at that front of the field, he's pulling away again. The gap now between the two drivers, 1.8. So it really is extending now, and as the laps tick away, and about 5.5 laps to go. So Luke Sky and PA currently P4 and 5. Still need to do a heck of a lot more, it seems. Under the bridge go that midfield pack of Luke, PA and Ragster. Ragster is still really trying to defend his line from a certain Mr. Chris 007 who hasn't really been able to get himself back into the game. But I think right now the question on everyone's mind is going to be, can Luke hold on against Mr. PA? He's only got himself 5 more laps to go now. Has he got enough? Can he hold on? Or is it simply just not going to be enough when it comes to the end of the day? I suppose there is only one way to find out, and that is just to see maybe how well these guys do. So I'll tell you one thing for sure, as we go through the list of drivers here, there are some big names inside that top 5 we may not have expected. Wild 7 is now in 3rd position, 10 seconds clear of Luke Sky, 10 seconds clear of PA, and really, he's only 8 seconds away from P2. So Wild 7, providing he can keep a line going, is going to have a much more interesting race. He's going to have a huge point haul. And that really is going to be a massive step forward for him when it comes to this championship. But Olin Fox still not giving up the fight yet then. The gap back down to 1.3. It's been seesawing all race long here in the first race of the championship. And surely there's still a bit more to come. This is far from over. Well, Wild 7, as we said, probably the most impressive performance of the day. Luke Sky also holding on gallantly there in P4 against Mr. PA, who's trying everything he can in the toolbook, I think, to get past him. This is classic Evo racing here from the Sunday Race-Off. And the debut of the brand new series. PA up the inside, and he's a bit too far away for that one to work, unfortunately, this time. Although he's trying to go around the outside, and it may just work. Oh, a beautiful move by Mr. PA. And now Luke Skyty's got himself a long way back. 3 laps to go as they cross the line this time round. And this is going to be a battle to the finish. You can see it now. It's written in the stars. But is it written in the stars for Shadow Bounty to win? That's going to be the second question. So then, a quick recap of the order. Shadow Bounty leads, Lolin Fox second, Wild 7 third. Then you got PA, Luke Sky still, Ragster 6th, Chris 007 in 7th, King Dio down to 8th, Tomcat P9 looking to pick up some points, as is Crass. Out of the race are Lazarus and Dimitris Giannopoulos. So, Shadow Bounty starts his penultimate lap. We've got a couple more minutes of this race until the very end. And also a couple more minutes until the first winner of the 2013 Mitsubishi Evo X Series gets announced. And the first debut of a Simraceway Championship, televised, of course, here on the Simraceway YouTube channel. So, very exciting times indeed. And it's just a couple more minutes to go until we get our first winner. As they make their way down the straight, you've got to think that Shadow Bounty's not going to be close enough. You look at the battle though, for 4th position with Mr. PA in the parade behind him. Ragster is 1 position away from a top 5 finish. He can get that. It could very well be drive of the afternoon. He was down in P9, now up to P5, so he's had a very strong drive in the second half of this race. Still 1.5 more laps to go though. They come through the final couple of corners now. And a Shadow Bounty just about nears his final lap. There we go, so he's only got 1 more lap to go before we call it a day here. He's done very well so far indeed, and now PA and Luke Sky set to do a bit of battle as Ragstar watches on eagerly. He's just trying to get a good run through the final corner. Indeed he does. It's not going to be good enough. And unfortunately, he's just going to be sitting in spectator watching, waiting for an error for 1 more lap. See if either car does put a foot wrong. Right now, PA showing no signs of that whatsoever. Whether Luke Sky will or no is going to be the ongoing problem. It's PA's race to lose. And with little mistakes like that just there, going onto the AstroTurf, it could well end up being that way. And Ragstar has a much better run though than Luke Sky up in front. One will go for a move, will be on the inside line, needs that side draft now more than ever. And he's picked it up as well. Brilliant stuff then as they go in towards that right-hander. There's Stowe, and you can see Luke on the outside. He's maybe not going to get it. We have to turn our attention to the leader because Shadow Bounty is your winner for the first ever Mitsubishi Evo X Series race. 20 points to him. 18 points to Lolin Fox. He will not be disappointed with that. 3rd place to Wild 7, and that is an underdog story. What an impact there for Wild 7. 4th place will be for Mr. PA as he comes across the line. He holds off Ragster and Luke Sky for P6. 7th is Chris 007. 8th place Dio, and then we just got Tomcat 458 and Crasser Action as well. So P9 and P10 for those guys, and what a way to start the series. So don't forget, we've still got 2 more races with the Ariel Atom going back to the circuit where we were before Silverstones are still in England at Longstone Pass, so there's the short coach journey away. But from myself, Liam Jenkins, thank you so much for tuning in to the first round of the Evo X World Championship. Congratulations to all of our point scorers today, and we'll see you next race to see if Shadow Bounty can extend his championship domination. Hello everybody and welcome back to the penultimate race of your Simraceway Sunday Race-Off. And what an evening it's been so far as well. We have had so many exciting moments right here at the circuit of Longstone Pass and also just down the road at Silverstone. We've seen a lot of action, a lot of overtaking manoeuvres, and of course the debut of the first ever Simraceway televised championship right here on the YouTube channel with the Mitsubishi Evos. But right now we return to regular race-off routine as we return back to the Longstone Pass track for what could be one of the biggest races of the night so far. The circuit really has demanded the best of the drivers. It really is like a rallycross stage, full of twisting turns, full of tight corners, full of elevation changes, and more importantly, full of tiny little bumps and heaps that could really throw even the best of drivers off the track. So my name's Liam Jenkins. I'll be calling everything for you over the next hour or so in this race. As you take a look at the qualifying standings, it's Gargowell that's currently fastest with Lazarus in second. Mr. Jolly starts in third with Ken's 24/7 in P4. Sean 24 starts in P5, not that far away. We got Mr. PA there seventh, who returns after the very tense Evo race. He was in a big battle mid race, well, in the midfield for the majority of the race, that's for sure. We got Tyro P8, Ariel Danny still to set a time, Jekyll in 11, then Flo and Fregel in 12th and 13th. So we've still got plenty of action to go here in this qualifying session. 3 minutes to go, and Gargowell's on pole, having only done 2 laps, and yet Shadow Bounty, who's also returning, has done 4 laps, and yet he's still not quite there. He's in fact almost a second slower. So out of the box, Gargowell is looking very, very quick and very dangerously quick as well. That is a big threat. Last time we saw a man escape into that sort of territory, you know, maybe a second faster a lap from the race start, he went on to win the race. So whether he can do that again today, it will be very interesting. But tonight, as we say, we've seen some very exciting racing so far, and it's only going to get better as the race goes on. We've still with a big finale at the end, where the best of the best will compete in that A race, looking for part of that prize pool. So 1 minute 50 left, then he had a quick sim working very hard to fix them. And taking a look at what you guys are thinking as well. If you want to get involved in some of the chatter over on the Simraceway website, be sure to head over to simraceway.com and click on that bright yellow chat button. You can't miss it. And of course, you can talk to the drivers before and after their races, maybe get some thoughts from them, and also find out how you can get involved in your Sunday race-off by simply entering the race for the weekend. And if you're fast enough, then maybe you too could be competing under this spotlight and maybe even for a cash prize, who knows. So for all that, head over to simraceway.com. But for now, these drivers are looking to try to get to the end of their session. They're really not that far away from making an impact now. 1 minute to go, and Shadow Bounty was able to find a few tenths, but nothing really too over the top. He's tried to do a lot, but in all honesty, I just don't think he's got what it takes to perhaps pip him to the top. He's still about 7/10 of a second away, and that is an awful lot of time to find around a circuit so demanding, where it's a lot easier to lose time than gain it. So 20 seconds to go then. It's kind of judgment day for these drivers. Can anyone pit Gargowell to pole position or no? Gargowell's in the pit, so it will be down to Shadow Bounty. He goes across the line now, through the final corner, he's drifting it round. Oh, and he gets so close, but he gets another lap. Just enough time. He's only 2/10 of a second away. Sean is in the pits. The Flow is still out there. Jolly's still out there. PA's back in the pits. Jekyll's still going. Tyro in the best 9 up a high tailgate for the session. But all eyes will be on this man, Shadow Bounty. Also has a bit of traffic as well, as Mr. Jolly is not looking too pacey up in front. He's actually 8/10 slower than Shadow Bounty overall. Oh, and Jolly pulls over. Very smart move indeed. Very smart move indeed. He obviously didn't want to risk anything too much there, or perhaps a hard take of breaking someone's qualifying session, but Bounty is flying relentlessly now. It's scary to watch. Edge of your seat stuff in what looks like a hill climb event. And Shadow Bounty there topping about 140 miles an hour as he passed the speed camera through the old pub. He just got to find 0.2 of a second. But all fairness, if he starts second, he starts on the inside line, so maybe it's best to start second and not first. Oh, and look at the momentum, way too quick through there. And that is one of the dangers of this circuit. It's so tight and so narrow. And now the rest of the cars back in the pit lane. That's the end of the session. Gargo, as your pole setter, will be back very shortly with the full race. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Simraceway Sunday Race-Off. Your penultimate race of the night after some delays is about to get underway, so hopefully it will all be worth it as we narrate those 5 red lights. Now the all important question is, we've seen how dominant Shadow Bounty can be before, we've seen it in qualifying today. Can he hold the inside line into turn 1 though? He's had a good start. Oh, and that will be easy peasy for him. He immediately darts across. No competition. And as the field climb the hill now, watch out. The flow goes a bit deep. He'll have the inside line to defend from Sean. He has to go a bit wide. Now you want to watch out for those chain reactions. And luckily, that's the first race we've seen today. There hasn't been an incident of that first couple of corners. Great positioning by the field there to try and avoid anything like that. So really smart play. Well, it's a really smart play. It's really smart mindsets, really, by a lot of them. Very conservative. They realise here that at almost 2 minutes a lap, 13 laps is a very difficult task around a circuit with this much to offer. It really is a difficult circuit to master. Well, I can barely do a lap round anyway, so these drivers must really be something special. But it's still Shadow Bounty that leads. Over the jumps they go, then the flow, then Sean. Then you can see PA, followed by Lazarus, followed by Jekyll. Then you got Jolly, Frego, and Danny with a completely insane manoeuvre there, and that has ended in utter travesty. He just tried to go round the outside. I think he's come off the jump, couldn't get the car slowed down in time. He said in the chat there his steering went stupid. Both cars losing wheels. Danny is stuck on the wall on the entrance to the bridge. The yellow flags are out. There's suspension, there's wings. Oh, these cars have turned into machines from Star Trek again, and that was Danny's race cut short. It was looking so promising for him, and out of nowhere, a spontaneous move like that has ended it, and it's just something you can't attempt. If it's a racetrack like we used to see, like Brno or like Silverstone, then fair enough, because there's room to do it. But at a circuit like this, when the road is this narrow, it's very difficult to pull off a pass like that, and I think you can see the consequences speak for themselves. Meanwhile, a bit further forward, there's PA and Lazarus. PA's lost the back and the front to his car. There's a little Formula Ford bobbing along there at the back of the field. Battle in the midfield there, though. That's between Jekyll. We got Ken's, actually. Ken's 24/7 doing a mighty fine job. They're up in third at the moment. And then Jekyll trying to bring him along, but unfortunately he's not going to be able to get anything going through there. Ken's doing a good job of holding that line. Jekyll trying to challenge him all the way, and Jolly, as we say, has the best seat in the house, as the saying goes. Over those jumps they go, and just look at the air these cars get. If you go at an angle over there, that's where all the travesty goes. And there's Danny still stuck on the entrance to the bridge. It's going to be a certain distraction for the drivers, but Ken's not proving to live up to the expectation of being put off there. He's crossed the bridge nice and early. Put himself on the right line. Frego out of the race. Danny, I'm sure, is going to follow suit. And so very big disappointment there to retire on just lap number 1 of 13. But just watching these 3 battle, and you can already see the tension mounting between the 3 of them. Jekyll 66 will be doing everything he can, and look at side by side, and Jolly had a look there. Jolly's been involved in numerous races already, who really is an exciting competitor to wanted to crash up front. And who, if that was Sean 24 involved, was it our race leader as well? It must have been. It has to have been, because the guys behind are getting so close now. There must have been a little bit of contact or some halt or something, because the 2 leaders have lost an insane amount of time. I have to try and wait and see how that pans out, but in all honesty, that's going to be quite distracting for these drivers now, trying to work out what exactly went wrong. But Sean 24, we've seen him in the past. Again, a very quick driver. He needs to get himself in the zone and quickly. 2.4 seconds away already from Shadow Bounty. That's just been updated there to 1.5. So he is staying with him as such. But there's a difference between catching someone and passing someone. And as they go over the bridge again, this time with Danny's car being removed from the entrance. I think it's a very key issue here for Sean to really stick with Shadow Bounty, get in that slipstream as early as you can. The last thing he wants is to do something silly, really. And I think at this stage, the question is that can Ken's 24/7 hold on? Because he's P3 at the moment. He's got two cars breathing down his neck, both Jekyll and Mr. Jolly. They're going through that very tight midfield section now. And you can almost sense the desperation. Jekyll looks to the inside as they go through the side of the cliff face. And he's trying to look again, and there's just not enough room. The drag does not widen or narrow. It's the same width all the way around, making it very difficult for these drivers now. In fact, let's maybe take a ride on board with Jekyll 66. As he tries to get Ken's, and Jolly's just going to watch from the background. You can see in the rearview mirror, but the onboards with these Ariel Atoms truly are a work of art. And Ken's got that corner a bit wrong. And, well, almost like a Hot Wheels car there from the side. That's why I got a bit distracted. But nothing but a catch fence stopping you from ploughing into a field. It's quite scary to think how technical this circuit can be as well. But right now, Ken's is holding his own out there. Nice two mistakes in three corners where he's gone a bit wide and had to cut back across. Luckily gets the power down nice and early though. That could have been a little bit troublesome if he didn't. Just look at the speed of these things over the jumps, 170 miles an hour. And he's got to get that slowed down to go over the bridge. It's so difficult. You're blind going into that corner. There's no apexes like you would see on a regular racetrack. Well, right now we've got a battle for the lead as well then with Sean 24 and Shadow Bounty. These guys heading over the side of the cliff. I think I might just name this corner Cliff Edge. That sounds a bit uncatchy actually. We'll think of something if you've got a name for the corner. Be sure to drop it in the YouTube comments and I'm sure we can incorporate it into the broadcast. But right now, Shadow Bounty is under a lot of pressure from Sean 24. We said Sean's got to stick with him. Shadow's been making a few rookie errors here and there. Very uncharacteristic errors in all fairness. And now Sean 24 starting to reel him in. He's taking wider lines on entrance, tighter on exit. And just like that, look how close he's getting. Approaching the halfway stage already. And Sean is really starting to up the pressure, isn't he? No Shadow's going wide. And now he's getting a bit closer. He's on the grass. Careful, he can see the wheel wanting to turn the opposite direction. I don't know how Sean was able to keep that pointing in a straight line. But that was simply masterful. And look how close he's getting right now. Shadow Bounty is being reeled in. And now he's at a real disadvantage. This long straight over the jumps in a slipstream. Look at the speed he's going to reach. 166 through that one. 170 into the bridge. There's a nasty little jump on the exit of the bridge as well. We've seen a couple of cars hit that today. Not just in the race, but in qualifying as well. And now as they go past the old pub again, this sequence of left-handers is really playing quite nicely there to Shadow Bounty. Quick update on the Ken situation there. Just a position behind actually. And it's more Jolly on the assault as opposed to Jekyll right now. Jolly looking in a much stronger position. There's the Flow in 7th. Tyro in 8th, still PA 9th. 10th for Fregel, and out of the race for him and Ariel Atom following their collision. But still the main focus at the front is down. Sean's in the lead as we did the rundown. And Shadow Bounty's lost it. He needs to get it back if he has any chance of winning this race, because Sean is going to run off into the sunset. And these two veteran racers have been here since almost the very birth of the Sunday Race-Off. And now they're battling for the race lead for the first time here today at Longstone Pass. A track which has made a big impact on not just the drivers but the fans as well. And I'm sure they'll be keen to see it return to the series. Here we're at week number 52, so almost an entire year now. A year's anniversary of Sunday Race-Off. And what better way to spend it than right here in my home country of England at Longstone Pass today, and just showing you how really incredible a road circuit like this can be. Sean trying to escape at the moment, and I don't want to flick away because every time I do, something happens. But right now, Ken has lost ground. Jolly's passed him, and now looking to maybe put a move on Jekyll. So, out of nowhere, Mr. Jolly is in a much more comfortable position as he tries to attack Jekyll 66. Onto the bridge, he's gone wide. Oh, and you've got to be so wary of that. It will catch you out at any given moment, but very well played to Jolly. Got the car slowed down nice and early. I thought it would take a lot more than that, so he's done a nice job indeed. Still in the lead, Shadow catching him to an extent. Jolly also, oh, he's gone wide and he's skidded a bit there. That's going to drain some momentum from him. Let's take a look at the lead battle then with Shadow Bounty and Sean 24. Unfortunately, you can really feel Shadow Bounty losing out now. He's made a couple of errors. But a bit further back, that battle again with Jekyll and Jolly is hotting up as Ken is catching him. And look who else is. Lazarus has been pumping in these lap times and he's not that well. He's 25 seconds clear, but he is starting to catch him. So don't write him out just yet. We've still got just over half this race left to go. You've got to keep an eye for Ken's and also keep an eye what's going on the front as well. Shadow Bounty hit the wall a bit there. And I'm wondering if he's lost the front wing or try and get a view of the front of the car. It's still intact, isn't it? Yes, it is. So, panic over. Shadow Bounty does still have a chance. But there goes Jekyll, Jolly, and Ken's. All of those three drivers still dueling incredibly hard there. And now you can already see the effect it's having on Jolly because he keeps getting closer and closer and then running wide. And I think that's an issue that a lot of these drivers are struggling with here today. But Shadow Bounty now 2.9 seconds away actually from Sean 24, so he is losing time. And just as we suspected, if he gets open space, Sean 24 is lethal. He can quite easily get himself into the sunset. Oh, and you can just see the kick out there that Shadow Bounty produced. That was something of pure beauty. Like something you would see in a Fast and Furious movie. And look at Jekyll and Jolly again. Almost touching ends there, and you can just feel the diversity between these two drivers. Oh, I say two, there's three as Ken has got right back up to them. Lazarus, she lost a bit of time there. Now 33 seconds back. He was a mere 25. So somewhere along the line, he's actually lost about 7 seconds, which in an ideal world is not where you need to be. But let's just try and take a look at what the guys behind Lazarus are doing right now, because we've still got a long way to go in this race. The Flow is 16 seconds behind in P7. Then you've got PA a lap down. Tyro is out of the race, along with Frego and RL Danny. So unfortunately the attrition rate has been quite high today, which is quite bizarre because obviously the circuit, physically demanding, mentally demanding. You do suspect it to be high, but the professionalism of the drivers has proven otherwise. So unfortunately the stakes have cost at quite an angle, and we've seen a few retirements today, but hopefully that will be the last of them as this trio of cars looks to really continue that warpath going into the final few laps or so. It is still Jekyll 66 that leads those three cars, from Jolly and then from Ken's as well. And you can just almost really feel that time's starting to run out for Ken's. Because he's stuck behind Jolly. We all know that Jolly really is one of the most exciting drivers to watch now. He's developed so well over recent months. But he's already proven how difficult it can be to get past another driver here today. It's not like you can just, simply make a pass and then hope they don't get it back the next corner. It really is a difficult thing to accomplish a pass here. The track's so narrow, the circuit's really designed for only single runs the hill, so it really does take some creativity and inventiveness to really put a move on your fellow opponents. So great job to every driver who's made sterling pass today, but there's been a shortage of them. It really has been a case of a driver versus the tarmac more than anything.
final lap. Keep it going.
everybody, and welcome to the final race then in your Simraceway Sunday Race-Off. What an evening we've seen so far. Some fantastic midfield battles around the Longstone Pass circuit in its first ever race here at Sim Raceway in a live stream. Question is, how is it going to fare in the pinnacle? Miss again on pole, Grivy in second. This is what we've been waiting for, and now we've got green lights. Big start there by Grivy. Needs to cut across sooner rather than later, and I don't think he's got over quite quick enough. He's able to cover the line, and luckily for him, Grivy just couldn't quite get the momentum coming up the hill. As to the field, all through okay as well. So again, 2 races in a row, no incidents at the first corner. It's making progress. Colin Fox went a bit wide as well, it seems, but just about able to hold on as Lounger tried to come back up the inside, and a big slide there as well from what looked like to be Daniel C in P6. But as we take a look towards the front of the field, Nissigan and Grivy already looking to have a monstrous battle on their hands as they come over the jumps. They're almost side by side. And Grivy trying to go around the outside and miss again. Not having any of that, not through that bridge section. But I think he may lose it there. Grivy sliding around the outside. He's surely going to run out of road. Indeed he does. The inevitable happened. And now Michigan forced off Van Panther there as well. Grivy still on the outside, but now trying to power his way round. And you've got to think this time, wow, one of these days eventually he's going to get it through. Michigan under a lot of pressure. And by a lot we mean is absolute huge. The amount of pressure these guys have right now. So Michigan, Grivy, Van Panther, Lolin Fox and Daniel and Lounger. Followed by Penge and Graufindel, Sean 24 there as well, then El Nino. And Canardo in P11 in his debut here in the Sunday race, and we'll see what he can do in the first edition of his skill quad here today in the A race. He's made it right to the top, but the field's still very tightly packed together after just one lap. It's been very interesting. We've seen before where the field spaces out quite often due to a few mishaps or tiny errors that escalate, but not this field. They've done a very good job. And a bit wide there goes Daniel C in P5. Oh, and he almost wheel bangs with Lounger to try and retain his position and not let it slide. He does so, but arguably in a bit bizarre circumstance. He shouldn't have really been allowed to come right back across like that, but nothing illegal about it at least. Michigan still leads as he comes towards the end of lap number 2. Over the jumps they go. And they're getting some real air under there, aren't they? You can hear the engine and the rev limiter get to the top as soon as they go over that little hump there. But just look at what Lolin Fox can do as well from P4. He's broken away from that midfield pack. It's become a kind of rest of the field pack, hasn't it? Lolin Fox is now trying to catch the 3 race leaders and pull away from the Daniel C. Well, it's almost like a Daniel C train though, isn't it? You've got Lounger, Penge, Graufindel, Sean, El Nino, Carnado and the Magico all in that train. You've got AZ Best at the back and Lazarus also still in this one as well. Need to be careful. Oh, we got a front wing off, and that belongs, I believe, to Graufindel. Please double check. No, it doesn't. Where did that belong to then? That's going to be quite worrying. It's come off of one of the cars in the midfield, I'm pretty sure. Was it Van Panther from P4? Yes, it was. Van Panther from 4th position. I wonder how this is going to affect his race then. Is he going to pit in? It's only lap number 3 of 16. They've just started, but you have to wonder. It's quite a big ask to try and look at the train already behind him. The Van Panther. Oh, and Daniel C looking up as well. Van Panther's in struggling situations right now. Doing everything he can to try and nurse his car back. And look at Lounger and Penge as well. That's going to be interesting. Over the humps they go. Penge almost got that all wrong as well, actually. Big lockup coming off the exit of the bridge. And now Daniel C ducks on the Van Panther to try and get away as soon as he can. The more Van Panther holds up, the better situation for Daniel C, it seems. So current rundown of the order, then it is still Michigan that leads, still followed by Griffey in second. Who's not really decided to let him go at all. He's still very much a presence here. Lolling Fox in third, fourth Daniel, then Lounger, then Penge. Then that battle with Van Panther and Sean tries to battle his way past a wounded Van Panther. Without that front wing, he's losing way too much time. Oh, he's pulled in? No, he has decided to pull in. So, very interesting. Is that a retirement though? He's right behind him at the back as well. Trying to do very much the same situation as El Nino. Who's... I'm not really sure what he's doing there. I think he's stopped outside the pit lane, but Lazarus is out. El Nino's trying to find his pit box. So all of a sudden the attrition rate is picked right up. Big moment there for Penge as well in P5. He's really throwing that car around. Wild guess as to maybe who's going to come out on top of this one. Your money would be on Michigan, but he hasn't run away maybe as soon as we once thought. We've got Griffey there, just a second away. He's still a presence, and Griffey again, and Michigan. In fact, both of these drivers, we've spoken very highly of in recent weeks. Everyone knows exactly what these guys can do out on the racetrack. They've tackled the big names such as Asa Acola, such as Anxiety, and this is a new breed of racer coming through. These drivers who really do want to take the fight and really make a name for themselves on the big stage, and why not? Although Michigan did that get corner a bit wrong, and that's going to throw up some wild repercussions in the following few seconds, as Griffey's going to get a big advantage. You can almost see Griffey just creeping up the back stairs, but quick update on what's going on perhaps a little bit further back now. That Penge battle that we were talking about a few moments ago, still going on as Lounger is on the defensive side of the wall right now. Penge trying to get as many overtakes in as he can. But it's been a bit difficult for him. He's up to P5, so been a very strong start, but he's now going to try and tackle Lounger. Again, around this circuit, attacking other drivers is a lot easier said than done. An overtake can be a ridiculously difficult feat to accomplish. And just watching them and how close they get to the grass as well. They're effectively on the white line, and occasionally they will put a wheel on the grass. It gets very scary to watch, knowing those cars could jolt away at any moment. And Lounger got that corner all wrong as they start lap number 5. And Valle just coming to... Oh no! Penge with a huge hit! And I think he hit one of the bollards. And that is an incredibly hard hit. And he's still going at 50 miles an hour. He's got to get out of the way. That was a ridiculously big hit. He ploughed into one of the bollards, going on round the edge of the cliff, and now he's going to lose control. He's trying his hardest. Luckily for him, it's right at the end of the lap. He's still struggling to keep that car going so he can avoid losing a lot of time. Let the pit lanes right there, so he should be able to just wheel it straight in. But even so, that was a magnificent impact. So he's got to be very careful there. He can't do that too often. Either way, Penge goes back in there now, and he's got to hopefully get that car back out on the circuit within a relatively quick amount of time before it all slips away. Van Panther, who's 50 seconds down the road, may just have a shot now. That doesn't mean then that Lounger is on his own for the moment in P4 as we approach that halfway distance coming up. Sean's there as well, and then you can just see behind Daniel C. And Daniel almost lost it as well. I'll tell you what, a lot of these drivers getting a bit aggressive now, obviously trying to take time out of the cars in front of them, but in return, it's getting them in some very sticky situations. And just as we saw a few moments ago, Penge on this very corner just got too close to the inside of the wall and clipped one of the bollards prematurely, ending his race almost. He was very lucky to recover it to the pit lane. A few more corners to go until the end of lap 6 for Daniel and Sean. Sean still leading our battle for the final top 5 position. As a yellow flag out. Now, I'm not too sure where this is for, if that's for a pit lane or no. Penge still in the pits 1 lap later. As the drivers trek their way up the hill now, you can really sense that true height of elevation is difficult to put into words until you see an onboard footage or a camera or something like that. But Penge is in fact out of the race then. So another retirement to add to the list. Again, Penge's race, who was looking so strong earlier on, has ended prematurely. Didn't quite make it to the halfway mark, unfortunately. We also have a battle there for P number 9, I believe. That's AZ Best and Magico, who are at the back of that midfield train there, just trying to stay with it. And AZ really trying to give it to Magico now as he goes wide for another couple of corners. AZ Best has really started to reel him in to go for the jumps for time number 7 today. There's some real height there. The suspension on these Atoms being really put to work as they go for the hump on the bridge as well. Really a testament to what a true sense of innovation this car really is. A fantastic design. Seeing it tackle a circuit like this, you could not put a Formula 1 car on a track like this. It would truly ruin the flooring. And the suspension as well. A late move there by AZ Best. And that careers him up into P9. Nice and easy move. Oh, and Magico's got no fight at all. He's let AZ Best go, and just like that, that battle's pretty much ended. So a bit further up the field, that battle with Sean 24 still fairly intense there, as Daniel C looks to try and take P5, the final top 5 spot. We spoke about it earlier on. As we come towards the end of lap number 8 of 16 here, Michigan still leads with Grivy in second. And now down the straight comes Sean 24, and interestingly enough, I think he did get a bit of a wobble coming off that corner, and that's cost him a reasonably big amount of time. Magico trying to fight as well. Although he's down in P10 now, trying to get AZ Best, who's already passed him a few moments ago. Magico just trying to stay with him, I think, more than anything now. As Michigan starts lap number 9 with 13 minutes into this race, and it's only a 2.7 second deficit that Grivy suffers at the moment. He's still very much within this race. And Michigan, who's actually gained another 10th there, despite having a pretty poor sector. Take a look at the lap time next time round, but I think he did make a few mistakes. And Molin Fox is only 4 seconds in front of Lounger in P3 actually, so that battle's still going to be pretty fun to watch. As you know, it's another battle forming again. Daniel and Sean still battling over P5, only this time it's Daniel C who's in control and Sean who's on the attack. The two have switched. And And Sean reluctant to let him get away. He wants to be inside that top 5, doesn't he? And so now over the halfway stage as well, we really got to try and work out how much does Sean need to push. Does he need to start trying to push harder? Let's take maybe a ride on board there with Sean 24 and see what it's like on the chase cam. I'll stay silent for a few moments and just figure out just how hard these Ariel Atom engines are being pushed to, especially when they hit this jump section they're coming up to. So give it a few more moments as they round the old pub there on the right hand side and make their way into the straight. This is where you want to stay silent then, so as they go through the cliffside. Look at the breathtaking views there, breathtaking speeds as well, and look how ragged it gets. Very rough driving style indeed there by Sean 24, and Daniel C's pulling away. So this is where I'm going to just maybe slip into silence into the next lap or so and just maybe listen to these cars rev up, especially down this bit now. And I think that was probably the perfect time to go silent as well, as you could really hear that engine really take a beating. In all honesty, it's constant high revs. I'm amazed it's been able to maintain such a standard temperature. Look at the height you got on that jump as well. Sean is now all over Daniel once again as they go through the bridge. You can't go wide through there. But we're on lap 10 of 16. And oh, he's almost lost it. He did very well to maintain control there. Lightning reactions. And I think he may have lagged. Daniel may have lagged out or something. Yes, he has. Daniel C has got a net code issue. He's down in P6. And that is... No, he's out completely. Daniel C has disconnected from the game. Which is not what he wanted to do at all. So unfortunately, it's not been the dream start for him. Daniel has had a disconnection. And just as you think that this is going to be a monumental battle that's going to go on for the next 6 laps, it just wasn't meant to be, and that's going to allow Sean 24 to really focus on just doing a conservative drive now. Which at the end of the day, when you think about it, is not a bad shout at all. Because this circuit is bad enough when you're on your own. When you're trying to chase a car down or overtake them, it becomes so difficult. Okay, so apologies again for technical difficulties. You haven't had the easiest day when it comes to streaming, but I'll do my best to try and bring you guys some radio coverage as to what is going on the circuit. As I say, so 11 laps completed, where you've still got 5 to go. This again just coming across the line now. Round the final corner he comes. And over he goes, so 140.261. To mark the start of the final quarter of this race. Griffey now a simple 6 seconds behind, so he maybe just started to focus on driving for second instead of driving for first. There's only so much you can push, and once you start going over that limit, that's when you're at risk to errors and crashes, that sort of thing. So very smart driving there, in all honesty. I'd much rather take home a second than take home an 8th place after a silly error that could have been avoided. So a quick run through of the order then, since we've got a bit of time. Miss again still leads from Griffey, as you said, 6 seconds apart now. Lolin Fox in 3rd. Lounger in P4 is about 4 seconds away, in fact. Sean 24 in P5. 6th place is Grau Findle. 7th the Magico. 8th Van Panther. 9th place El Nino. 10th place AZ Best. Canado is out of the race there in P11. Daniel 12 is... Oh, sorry, Daniel C is out in P12. Penge, after that huge shunt at the cliffside, and then Lazarus 16 as well. But Michigan still leading. 5.9 seconds, and Griffey goes a bit wide there, in fact, coming off of turn number 6. And Nolan Fox just going through the breathtaking scenery there, having overtaken Lounger. 3.8 seconds are separated by at the moment in the battle for third position. It may or may not resume. We're still not sure if it's going to be a close race or no. And over the hill, oh, and a big moment there for Lounger as well. And he almost did the exact same incident as Peña, same corner, same bollard. But luckily Lounger got away with a much better consequence. And now it's just a sheer loss of a couple seconds. And AC Best are in the way of traffic now, actually. They've started lap number 13. So 4 laps to go, but there is traffic in that 4th and 3rd place battle. There's AZ Best and El Nino separating Lounger and Lolin Fox, which is not what Lounger needs right now, especially at this tight uphill section through the opening half of the circuit. Right, left, right, left, right, left. And they work their way back onto the jumps again. AZ Best is not really in a position to be at fault. He's going to try and move out of the way if he can, but he's in no position where he has to, I don't think, just yet. Have a look at that. A flash of the lights from Lounger shows that he's quite anxious to get past quickly. He's got a battle to try and catch after all. 3.7 the gap now between those guys. Graufindl still going in P6 as well. He's kind of been the silent hero there today. 6th position is a very good achievement for Graufindl PO. He's really learning consistency. I've learned that from him over these past few weeks. He's getting more and more consistent despite throwing up a bit of smoke there. He's got himself into a rhythm. And I'm sure he's going to bring home another good result for us today. Only time will tell, though. It's not over till that checkered flag falls. So a quick update then as to where Michigan is lap time wise opposed to where Griffey is. Griffey last time round was about 3/10 slower. They're now 6 seconds separated with 3 laps to go. So I can't really see Griffey making much of the effort to catch Michigan, especially at this stage in the race. It's just way too late. If you try pushing now, as we said, you're going to end up in a position, or a situation rather, where you're pushing over your limit. And if you do that at a circuit like this, the dampening effect is going to be a severe consequence, which could see you ending up prematurely sat in the pit lane wondering what went wrong. I think we've really got to take a minute of commiseration for what happened to Daniel C, who was racing so hard with Sean 24 earlier and trying to race in this big hill climb track with his Longstone Pass. It's been a difficult time for everyone today, but he had a monumental battle with Sean 24. One which would make even a battle on a track like Silverstone look bad. It truly was something for the ages, and one which will go down in Sim Raceway history. And talking of history as well, if you missed it earlier, we did have the first ever Evo Championship race broadcast, so you'll be able to watch that one live back on YouTube. The live rerun, of course, a bit later on when the video gets uploaded, so don't miss that one. Don't forget round 2 of that coming about this time next week, so really can't wait for that one to see maybe how some of the drivers come back. We saw Dimitri Giannopoulos, the man who qualified in 3rd and actually finished 12th. He didn't finish in the end. We saw a couple of guys, underdogs, get on the podium. So there are drivers here who can really shake up this series, and that's what I love about the Evos. So be sure to tune into that one next weekend here on the Sim Raceway YouTube channel. And as Michigan starts lap number 15 of 16, is about a quarter of the way into it right now, followed by Griffey again, still about 6 seconds. I can't really see them evolving much more than that. And a big slide there from Lounger. He's really kicking that Atom round and having some fun with it. He's got himself 23 seconds back to Sean. Why not? He can afford a little error. He's having a bit of fun with it on the way down. He knows his own limits. He's not going to push himself too hard or too much over the edge. He knows exactly that he's in his comfort zone and can have a bit of fun with this Atom and the sheer powerhouse that sits beneath him. Really is a great piece of innovation to see open wheelers brought into the road marketing world. But as Michigan comes towards the end of the lap, he's only got a couple more corners. And then he'll be on the final lap of the race. 8.4 seconds the gap now. So Michigan is absolutely flying. He's not even giving up. He crosses the line. One more lap to go. And Michigan will finally win again. It's been a long time coming. It hasn't been easy. It's been a bit of a bumpy road for him over recent weeks. We've seen heartbreaks. We've seen tremendous battles. And we've seen Michigan and Grivy come through the ranks to establish themselves as the fastest drivers that Sim Raceway has to offer, and now they're going to sit respectively on steps 1 and 2 on the podium. But now the question is, who's it going to be the other way around? It's up to 9.4. I think Grivy really has given up now. He's just sort of thinking, you know what, there's no point in pushing, let's just bring the car home. I've got another 11 seconds back to Lolin Fox. I don't need to be pushing this hard. Lounge is still P4, Sean in P5, who's now on his own since Daniel C's accident. Graufindu still in 6th as well. DeMagico there in 7th. And Panther in 8th, AZ Best in 9th. And El Nino rounding out your runners forward today in 10th position. But what a drive it's been by Michigan. The second driver out of 4 races here today with these Ariel Atoms to win from pole position. What an incredible day it's been for this young man. And Michigan just going to be set to be one of those drivers that's going to constantly surprise, constantly impress, and constantly set records. He's got 2 corners left to go through the downhill left-hander and past that little mileage sign. Keep your car to the right-hand side. Avoid the grass if you can. There's the pit lane, and there's the finish line. Michigan is a winner again in the Sim Raceway Sunday Race-Off for week number 52. What a drive. Grivy in the end ends up 10 seconds down the road, but you know what? It's a second place. Very smart driving there by Grivy, and that has to be admired. Very good drive there. Lolin Fox is going to come across the line in P3. Not too far away either. That's his best result in a long, long time. So congratulations to Lolin Fox for rounding out the podium. Lounger crosses the line in 4th position. He'll be fairly happy with that one. Let's go 8 now for Sean 24 from P5. You just got to be careful. They went through that cliffside and almost lost the back end once again. Very easy thing to do. He's only got a couple more corners, as we said. The cliffside obviously been the most iconic corner that we've seen here today. It's claimed a few drivers' races and definitely a few seconds as well. But Sean crosses and rounds out your top 5. So a good result for Sean. And what about this man, Graufindu, who finishes another race? He's been on a hot streak recently of consistency. And, well, he's only looking to be moving up, doesn't he? 2 more corners to go again. He's drifting it. Oh, and that looks beautiful. I'm sure that'll look perfect in slow motion. Across the line he goes, and that is P6 secured. DeMagico is going to be followed by Van Panther. We forgot about this battle, 7th and 8th. It's going to be close if Van Panther can get a run. And how close is it? The answer is 0.2 of a second. And that couldn't be closer, really, if you tried. So that's 7th and 8th. 9th place will be AZ Best. And 10th place will be El Nino. Out of the race are Canado, Daniel C, Penge, and Lazarus. So thank you very much for tuning in to another edition of the Sunday Race-Off and to the record history-breaking first ever Sim Raceway Evo X World Championship race, which was a truly emphatic race in every sense of the word. So you don't want to miss the next race of that. That will be next weekend here on the Sunday Race-Off, supporting the big event. If you want to get involved, simply go on simraceway.com and join the race to the weekend. I'll be in the chat room for a little bit if you want to get in touch or ask any questions or maybe even get yourself involved for next week's Sunday Race-Off. But until next week, guys, my name's Liam Jenkins. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.